Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review a film that has been dodging me ever since it came out back in December, and just waiting game for it to finally come around anywhere near where I live. It took me a 45-minute drive up to Reading Cinemas in Manville, also first time being there. Great cinema. Awesome theater, really hope to go back there soon. It was definitely worth the 45-minute drive, but I'm talking about Destroyer, which this really hasn't escaped a whole lot across the country yet, and I was really hoping to see this before I went out and did my top 10 list and the Wasteland Reviewer Awards. Basically, the one thing that might have shifted a little bit is the lead actress, because honestly, Nicole Kidman rocks this movie, and a lot of the times actors and actresses get a lot of hype because they did a transformative performance, physically changed their bodies, and Nicole Kidman looks like garbage at points in this film, and it's scary how she looks in this film. But you know what? She really brought it emotionally. She carried so much intensity in her performance as Erin Bell, and this film, Destroyer, I thought was something special. Is it a perfect film? Not so much, but I really did enjoy this film. There were points in this film where I had some issues with the pacing, but something that really stood out to me about this film was how gorgeous and beautiful this was put together. From a technical perspective, the cinematography is gorgeous. There's so much saturated light and gives this very unique tone and atmosphere to every shot in this film. And how everything's brought together, how it's edited, the shots are put together, the framing of where you're looking at a character from different angles. There's certain angles in this film. There's one shot I remember from the trailer where Nicole Kidman's like holding her gun down and like the camera's pointing up at her and she just looks like a demon. Basically, she looks terrifying, and the camera work did such a great job of conveying different kinds of shots like that. And the music in this film was beautiful and stunning, and this film atmospherically is something really special and moving. I felt so on edge certain points in this film. I felt the emotional heft what this film brought, and in terms of the direction, Karen Kusama really created an intense, beautifully atmospheric experience in the cinema and was able to really create a unique experience because it's about undercover cops. There isn't anything particular about the story that's like super unique. There is a bit of intrigue and mystery about how the story all plays out because of the nonlinear storytelling, which I think works for the most part. There are some confusing moments where it's like trying to gauge where you're at in the film in time, and that makes it a little harder to follow at certain points and makes you lost as an audience. And I wish that most of the characters were on the same level as intrigue and interest as our lead character portrayed by Nicole Kidman, but some of the characters are pretty surface level. They don't get a whole lot of personality, a whole lot of depth to them, but that doesn't mean the performances aren't lacking in any place, because when you really think about this film, there's Sebastian Stan's in this, he does a fine job. Toby Kebbell's in this, he does a fine job. Scoot McNairy and Bradley Whitford, they're all in this film and they all do a good job. Just not many characters are super memorable throughout the film besides our main character, and that leaves it a bit lacking in the film. But in general, this is such a, I know this term's thrown around a lot, but this is really a tour de force. This like hits you and really has you going throughout the film. And there's emotional moments and how the pieces fall together. By the end, I was like hooked on the screen, really trying to figure out how this all pieced together as they're pulling back layers on the story and how this mystery came together. Overall, I think this is a really well done film, a beautiful film, and a tragic film. It really does leave you kind of devastated at the end. And if it weren't for a couple of pieces about this, including some of the pacing and sometimes the nonlinear storytelling working perfectly or some of the characters lacking depth, I think this would be a top tier film of 2018. Otherwise, I think it's a really well done film. I think if you really want to see this performance, it's well worth watching this film. And if you appreciate the actual art of creating film, this film is gorgeous to look at. And overall, I think it's a really intriguing story and worth your time. It is very violent and brutal. This film pulls no punches. If you really can't handle that kind of violence, this is not for you, because this will push you to some places. But overall, I think this is a really worthwhile film to check out. Unfortunately, it's not playing a whole lot of places, so if you're not really up to the big traveling for like movies and this isn't going to be coming around you, try to check it out when it comes out in streaming. I'm sure this will be either on Amazon or Hulu or Netflix at some point. Probably Amazon. That seems to be the place where like a lot of prestige indie films wind up. Go check this out. It's well worth the time, and honestly, it's one of the best performances you're going to see from 2018 with Nicole Kidman. And those are my thoughts on Destroyer. Comment, let me know what you think. Hopefully you can get a chance to check this film out, but thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland reviewer.